Isn't going anti-woke as bad in its own way as going woke?
That's a good question. And I would say a complicated question. I'm going to let you start.
Yes, well, I don't think it is. Okay, the woke thing. No, it's not as bad. There's one reason because why it's not as bad, because at this point, it's the woke that are leading everything, at least everything in the hobby and the entertainment and media. So.
And the cancel culture.
And the cancel culture, yes. So at this point, if people, for example, I'll say that my example, you can talk about your own after that. I am not a conservative. I am not a right-winger, even though people call me fascist, but that's just, well, it's part of being woke, of course. I disagree in some ways with the conservatives, but lately I've started to understand them and understand their points a little more, because I've seen what, I'm not talking about American conservatives, not Portuguese conservatives. So, I've seen what they have to face daily, and maybe they had to face it before. So yes, I understand they get annoyed with this, and well, the American liberals and probably the English liberals at this moment, they are very disgusting people. The most disgusting people at the moment are woke. So being anti-woke is being anti-disgusting people. That's usually what they say about everybody else. But no, we are right. I know that we are right. Because, as I said, I'm not a conservative. I'm not a right-winger. I disagree with the conservatives, even though I'm not starting discussions, arguments with them right now. But I do have some opinions that are not like them. I would say that. Well, we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
But yes.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, I can. Well, I'm definitely not a conservative, but I would say that I understand, because Green talks a lot about that being. And if we go to the crazy people that try to satanic panic and like the other sides. So maybe it is,
yeah, but
it's not what's happening now, yeah. Right? And yeah, I always been left wing. I always voted left. I never voted right, and I always. But now it's really strange. My opinions didn't change. The people on the left, and this happened even here in Portugal. Yeah, the left, the left changed, and then suddenly they were saying things that were exactly the opposite of what my opinion. It was not me that changed; it was them. Yes, so now I find a common ground with people in the right. I don't agree with them in everything, but that's something that maybe it comes with age. I don't know. That I started to understand their point of view, even if I don't agree with it. I understand where it comes from, and I try to build a bridge. And it's harder to build the bridge now with the people on the other side. It's
possible age has something to do with that, but I don't think so, because I've been feeling old for some time.
But another thing I know is that, of course, and people say that a lot, but the pendulum is going to swing back, and when it swings back, and it will swing back hard, will be, and I keep saying this, on the same place that we are now, because we are going to still be cancelled, because we're still going to do edgy, provocative things that the conservatives, the really, really true ones that will come out, are not going to like. So we are going to be exactly where we are.
It won't change for us probably, because people, if it does change now, I don't think it will change for us, because people who at this moment, even those that call themselves conservatives, or
I guess they aren't being applied.
They aren't as conservative as the people were calling us, not us, because we weren't there at the time, but said Satanists for playing role-playing games. They aren't those guys. They are also the ones that were called Satanists by the truly
and I think
insane
people are painting everybody as a conservative if it's a bad thing or a Nazi. So everybody that doesn't agree with, and when you keep telling people that they're not Nazi, that they are Nazis, it just destroys the meaning of the
No, it does.
word. And what I really feel is that there's a lot of people that are afraid, because one of the things that they say when you say, oh, if you don't agree with me, you're a fascist, you're a Nazi, you are an person. So what does normal people will do? Well, I'm not going to say anything about this, because I don't want to be accused of being an evil person. And that is the true danger. And this is why I feel that I have to be anti-woke or anti all this bullshit actively, because being quiet about it and trying to be neutral and a good person at this point
That's
doesn't.
impossible. No, you can't be. Well, you can be. There are people trying to do it, but that's not really possible. It doesn't work. It just ends up with having more arguments and with different people. And I don't want to go that way. I at this moment, I'm not going to say that I'm not woke or unwoke or something like that. No, I'm in fact anti-woke. I am fighting them because that's the only way to feel that I'm not being fake.
Yes.
That's the only way to be honest. I don't like them.
Resisting.
I don't like them. I hate more than I don't like them. I despise them. I don't feel the same way about conservatives, even when I don't agree with them. I do not despise them, and I never despise them. Yeah, I can despise one person in particular because something, I don't know, well, it depends. But okay, for example, I think that abortion should be legal at least until predetermined, not until 9 months, as they probably
but
do.
It shouldn't be like it shocked me. So I'm absolutely pro-choice. We don't have kids. I don't want to have kids. If I ever get pregnant, I would have to do an abortion because I don't really want to have kids. But that never happened. Why? Because there's and I know people can get pregnant. Accidents happen, but it really shocks me as a woman and knowing other people that had to do abortions in some cases because they didn't want to have kids, because of medical issues during the pregnancies, because they lost the baby. And that's cavalier way of some people say, oh, I'm going to get pregnant and I'm going to do abortions and I should do. It's ugly. It's something that it should be legal. Of course, it should be the woman's choice, but it's not something that should be considered healthy
not in every case, of course. In case of a rape, or in case of
and you can't wait forever until to do it.
Yeah.
There's not yet.
Well, in Portugal, there's a limit, and it's nothing to do with the limit in the US. It's 10 weeks, I think.
Yes, it's way shorter.
Way shorter. And I think that's okay. There was medical consultation on that. Some doctors who are Catholic didn't like it.
And there are some problems and I know of that when there's issues that people that come right there in the middle and they will say, oh no, sorry, you can't abort. And that happened and it sucks. Because then you have to go to the doctors of the ethical committee that are all Catholics and they will have to say, oh, if you can end the pregnancy or not. And most of the time they say no because they're Catholics and they don't care about the consequence that will have in the woman, and that sucks. But it should not be looked as and I know that not everybody that is in favor. If we're going to start talking about abortion, I'm not going to, but it's a good example. I'm not saying that everybody that is pro-choice, even in the US, has that attitude, but I saw too many people with that. The woke with, oh, I'm going to have abortion parties, and that's really pissed me off.
The same about guns. I never used a gun. It's normal in Portugal, people don't use guns.
Yeah, unless you're hunters.
Yes, well, but in that case, you just shoot a rifle, a hunting rifle, nothing else.
Yeah.
You usually shoot guns when you go to the army, when you are a cop, and not much more than that. So I've never shot a gun, I've never used a gun, except a BB gun, and that's not actually a gun. But I understand that some people
I used to think
in the US. I used
for
to think
Portugal, why would you need a gun? You don't need to protect yourself with a gun.
And I never
have almost no crime.
I never thought about it. And I thought that in the US people, I'm talking about 20 years ago maybe, I thought that most Americans were gun nuts and they liked their guns and they loved that and they bought those magazines about guns. Well, maybe some are actually.
But then you met some people that seem absolutely normal and like guns.
Yeah, they like guns. Okay,
they're like, okay,
why not?
This is a normal
person. So if that's why my opinion changed about that. If I have had conversations with people that are perfectly sane, but they enjoy shooting a gun. Okay, it's an hobby. Why not? something
As long
like.
as they're not using it to killing people, and they're not.
Yeah, well, when you are shooting them at the range, it's not dangerous. I guess it's if you know how to use it.
Well, I've shot again. My dad.
Yes.
I didn't shot my dad, but yeah. But that's also another reason why I don't like guns, because my dad had a permit to use a gun and a revolver in the hunting rifle, and he shouldn't because he doesn't know how to use it. And now it's
this is Portugal, so that's normal things. Yes, there are people who have permits, but they obviously don't know.
Because he was in the army. So if you
so that's the thing here. I started to understand better people who are on the wrong side of history. And I do know that people who are on the right side of history are a bunch of freaks.
Most of them
and some of them they are just crazy
and trolls.
Truly insane, and some are just grifters, and some are just people who want to be on the right side, and they don't want problems, so they just join the mob. And I don't like mobs, and I don't like censorship, as you said in another video. So
hive mentality.
Yeah, so I'll be anti-woke as long as the woke are the majority. What will happen after? I don't know. We shall see. My opinion hasn't changed. Well, I can say that my opinion has changed a bit. Some things have been happening in the world that have bothered me a lot. So I have, not because of not just the woke, but I have moved a little bit to the right side of politics because of things that happened. Some of them were woke. Well, most of them are woke related, but not just the fact that there are insane people on Twitter, not just that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, things that you see.
Things that have happened,
the government,
actual things, yes, things that have happened in a larger scale, not just people that are boring or trolling or something like that. Well, for example, the fact that some leftist idiots banned us from drive-thru, and we were banned because other leftist idiots complained about us. So yeah, that's annoying. That makes me think thinking even less of leftists. Actually, at this moment, the only leftists I still like is the Portuguese Communist Party, who are in a strange way, we can call them based.
Yeah, they are. They are
strange. I'm not going to try to explain.
But they are anti-woke.
They were against COVID restrictions, and they were against people being
euthanized,
compelled to yes.
And they're against. It's very strange.
Yes.
So they're against a lot of things that the.
Yes, they are very anti-woke. They are traditionalists. They aren't conservatives, but they are traditionalists.
Which is normal, because that's the true communists. And that's another thing. The wokes don't really. They think they want the communists to they have no idea what they're talking about.
Of course, now there are leftist parties that have nothing to do with.
Yeah, but they're not communists.
No, they aren't communists. They are a strange mix.
We need to stop talking about this. This is boring. It's annoying me.
Okay.
Let's go to a more interesting question.
Okay, it's enough. Enough about
it's a rant.
now. Okay, rant over.